Both Santa Fe and Albuquerque will elect mayors this fall. So far, the City Different has a very crowded field, including an openly gay Hispanic candidate. In Albuquerque, incumbent Richard J. Berry is facing two challengers, one from his own party and one independent, I suppose. And he has come out with a new video criticizing his Democratic opponent, Pete Donnelly, for his role in heading a department that oversaw the Safe City Strike Force. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Now, Javier, Mayor Berry is criticizing Mr. Donnelly's role in the bad behavior of some of those members of the strike force, but Mr. Donnelly says, look, he tried to get those guys fired, and it was overruled by then Police Chief Ray Schultz. And I hate to be a wise guy, but that's easy to say now. You know, Chief Schultz is not going to come back and say, well, I don't remember this. You know, he's moved on. Who cares? But in this, the way the mayor's race in Albuquerque is shaping up, we've got just a little bit to go here. Is anything shaping up in your view for Pete Donnelly specifically as a challenger that shows you he's got something going here against Mayor Berry?
Well, you know, what's encouraging, and I just saw this on the news the other night, was a fact check on that particular ad by KOB, and that was encouraging to see that they kind of took the piece apart and disputed some of the claims that Mayor Berry made. I think what could possibly break for Pete Donnelly is that you know, this lawsuit over the MFCs and the contributions that Citizens United have had on the city election, which for me is disappointing that big money has reached this far down into the city. You know, that unfortunately in my own city council race, our city council district, Councilor Benton is being attacked by one contribution from one individual, $40,000, who's putting that money into MFC, and it's all negative campaigning. So the reason I bring that up is because to have KOB do the fact check, at least there's some pushback on the McCleskey crowd that's behind a lot of these ads, that's going to hold them accountable for the negative campaigning and the limitless spending. You know, and what's to me is the innocent city council.
Sure.
You know, shouldn't be.
Sure. Well, I live in that district too, and sometimes that walk to the mailbox can be a little dicey right now. So we're going to stay on Albuquerque. We'll move to Santa Fe in a second. But for Albuquerque, again, I'm interested in this idea of Pete Donnelly as a challenger. Mayor Berry's numbers look good. His style points seem to work well for this city right now and where we are, depending on your point of view, certainly. But what does Pete Donnelly have to do to crack through here? He says he's pro-union for city contracts. We have that little tete-a-tete there with NIOP, and that's fine and dandy, but he hasn't really launched anything out there.
It's a real challenge, and I think that that at this point, looking at the numbers, there's been one poll that's come out. We're still waiting at taping for the Albuquerque Journal poll numbers to come out. That puts Mayor Berry well ahead of Donnelly in the race. I think that there was a hope that it would be closer, especially
at this point, right.
Especially that Berry would be below the 50% mark, which would help to push toward a runoff. Right. Because this is a majority Democrat city, it should be that Donnelly is able to ride through just on the numbers, on the demographics, and that's not happening. So it seems like he's been running the strategy that's not playing out for him. He continues, and I think this is a sign of how complicated the relationships are in this situation. You know, Chief Schultz, who was here under the previous mayor for whom Donnelly worked, is still there. Donnelly is running against in some ways running against the chief of police with whom he worked under Mayor Chavez, and they're both now running against Schultz. They're both running against Schultz, and my suspicion is that a large part of the voting public still thinks that Schultz is chief of police.
I agree with that.
And so they're both in some ways running against the current chief of police. So it's a fascinating dynamic. I'm glad that I'm not the campaign manager for either campaign, but I think I think it's a tough row for Donnelly.
Is he lefty enough to separate himself?
Is he lefty enough? Frankly, I don't think so.
Okay.
It used to be.
It used to be. That's the reason I asked. Absolutely, right.
I don't think he's running that way.
Right.
I don't think he's running that way. And he certainly hasn't done a good job. I mean, he's running police.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him pin Berry to the wall on the fact that Albuquerque's recovery has been abysmal. Right. We have not seen the recovery in jobs. Our housing market seems to be sliding backwards. Foreclosures are terrible. I mean, all of these markers, and the cities around us and other states are surging ahead.
I'd like to know how he opens his mayoral thing with a shot for a bigger, better airport. It was like, okay, that's nice, but people need to eat or something. Anyway, moving to Santa Fe, and he'll figure it out. Moving to Santa Fe, we have an openly gay man, former Democratic Party chair Javier Gonzalez now. Does this presumably make him the front runner in Santa Fe for mayor up there? Not being gay, I don't mean that, but he's got something going. He's got party backing. He's got some things in his corner.
Yeah, he certainly, Javier has notoriety, and that's not the right word because that connotes negative. He's known because of his being the state Democratic chairman, and so he has a lot of connections in that sense. His coming out and announcing he's gay, I don't think matters in the least. I was disagreeing with Diane earlier because I don't think this is at all something, when we get into issues of sexual orientation, it's very much generational. That's why legislators voted against it. Older legislators weren't comfortable with it. And I don't think in Santa Fe it'll matter one whit.
That's a very good point. Santa Fe seems like at the brink of some change. It's not your city, certainly, but you know what I'm saying. Something seems to be moving in another direction here. And sometimes that calls out for new leadership of some sort. You know, this separation between the classes is just an old story there, but wow, it can be just so difficult for poor people and moderate working people up there. So.
It's an incredibly difficult thing. One of the things that the legislature did, and this was under the leadership of, he was Speaker then, Speaker Lujan, trying to equalize the taxes. And then that led to all the tax lightning, and which became another nightmare. Yeah. But the intent was good. I know probably Javier the best out of all those candidates. He's likable, he's smart, he's talented. And in the city, with the numbers the way they are, I think that he has a very viable chance based on just what Milo said, all the connections and the leadership he's already has behind his back.
And a crowded field might help him a little bit. When you have name recognition, like you're saying, notoriety in the safe way, that does help. I mean, Bill Demas is up there, Patty Bushy, there's some familiar names, so you got to be able to punch. I'm going to hold you there, Javier, just for a quick sec.